2024 has been an up and down year for several studios, several IPs, but none in general, right, has gone through such a roller coaster of emotions quite like Warhammer. Kicking off the year with the Custodes stuff, and then the back and forth between Amazon and Games Workshop as to whether or not Henry Cavill's cinematic universe was eventually going to kick off or not. That was a thing, and then there was the release of Space Marines 2, and then Henry Cavill's project gets greenlit. I would say this might be a little bit controversial, okay? I don't think there is any IP that benefited more from 2024 than Warhammer. Like, as bad as the female Custodes stuff is, like, that's pretty bad, okay? It could get worse. But all in all, the greenlighting of Henry Cavill's produced and starring in show Space Marines 2, which is still drawing massive numbers. Its stock prices are going through the roof. It ended up coming out the other side pretty well. So maybe it wasn't the biggest benefactor of 2024, but I'm also saying it wasn't exactly hindered by the year and some of its goofy problems. But one of the big ones, one that I already highlighted, the female Custodes stuff, well, it's interesting. It's very interesting how it's being handled moving forward, because Warhammer 40k Encyclopedia, the ultimate guide, labels orders of Adeptus Custodes as brotherhoods, pushing back against Games Workshop's feminization. Well, that's one way to look at this. Of course, we also had other guidebooks come out this year with other race and gender swapped factions, and yeah, that's cringe, but then that's Games Workshop in a nutshell. And stuff like that has been happening for a while now, so I guess we have to see what we're dealing with here at the moment. Warhammer 40k has a new history book, and by one of the original designers with the female Adeptus Custodes, introduced by Games Workshop in their new 10th edition codex. Warhammer 40k came to a national attention in April. Wow, that was back in April, huh? And Games Workshop introduced female Adeptus Custodes to the property in the most recent codex, Adeptus Custodes, with the excerpt saying, Custodian Calidis Torvin Kesh stood upon the bridge of the Cobra class destroyer, named Vigilant Flame. The warship belonged to the mighty battle fleet Solar. She lingered, in the shadows at the back of the bridge, positioned at the spot where she could observe the actions of every crew member, be they in the instrumentation pits, at the armament shrines, or in the case of Shipmaster Lethwick, stood Ramrod straight before his command throne. Oh my god, we got Ramrod, but then we got a chick staring on. What are we dealing with? The official Warhammer account on X confirmed the authenticity of the excerpt and declared the female Custodes always existed. Yeah, this is when the gaslight started, when things were truly unhinged. The account wrote, since the first of the 10,000 were created, there has always been female custodians. No, there hasn't. And then a lot of people ended up, providing evidence. It's like, nope, she always been male. You're a liar. You're a little liar, a Weasley little liar, dude. It's patently untrue. Former ES World of Warcraft team lead Grums shared the excerpt from Rogue Trader Rules in 1987. It states the Adeptus Custodes is the Emperor's inner guard, and the members of which are privileged in being permitted to serve upon the Emperor, attending to his needs, receiving and recording his directions. These men never leave Earth and only rarely leave the Imperial Palace, an endless black hive of forbidden technology and subterranean passage, delving deep within the bowels of the planet. But I don't know about you guys, that sounds like plenty of room for interpretation where we can go ahead and lend a feminine voice, right? Right? Is that what we're looking for? Of course. Now, a new Warhammer 40k, the ultimate guide encyclopedia, has been released by original designer Gab Thorpe and Guy Hale. That contradicts the new Games Workshop push towards feminization. The 10th edition codex renames the Adeptus Custodes a gathering to try to remove the gendered word brotherhood, which was in the original setting. Now, this new ultimate guide walks that language back by reinserting the original intent of the lore. In a section about the Adeptus Custodes titled The Guardians of the Emperor, the book says a legion of individuals, the Adeptus Custodes, are less regimented than other Imperial forces, with a promotion based entirely on merit. The Captain General leads, aided by a group of 10 tributes, Below the tribunate, commanders of individual forces are known as shield captains. Armies, or shield hosts, are formed across all 5 orders. Dozens of other sub-organizations, brotherhoods, and groupings run through the orders, such as companions, wardens, shadow keepers, or solar watch. Some are entirely ceremonial. Others have genuine military application, while many simply exist to acknowledge the talents or deeds of their members. In this way, the custodians keep their true structure impenetrable. As you can see, there's one specific word that a lot of people are latching onto, leading people to believe, oh my god, Games Workshop has finally learned the error of their ways. They're getting rid of the woke stuff. Of note, the reinsertion of the language of brotherhood in the passage and a lack of using gatherings. Yes, I've noted is famed designer Gab Thorpe, whose worked on the original lore, but left Games Workshop in 2008, according to his Wikipedia. The news delighted fans of Warhammer 40k, as they noted the original lore designer seems to be completely ignoring Games Workshop change to the lore to allow female custodians to exist. However, the book itself is not published by Games Workshop, but is licensed out, to publishing company called DK that is listed in Amazon description and on the cover, so its official canon has not been determined. And yeah, we got clarification on that in Warhammer 40k. Writer claims female Adeptus Custodes still canon despite intentional male gendered language in his own work. Oh god damn it. After fans celebrated what appeared to be decanonization of female Adeptus Custodes. Yeah, there's been a lot of supposed decanonization running wild recently that, oopsie daisy, may have been a little bit too early of a celebration. The Ultimate Guide to Warhammer 40k, the book's co-writer, has come out to claim that, despite the intentional gendered language he himself oversaw in the guide, custodians can still be female. Right, guys? Like, see? Of course, because nothing quite screams female like her, like Tyrant's beautiful face. The Warhammer 40k universe, renowned for its dark and intricate lore, is facing significant controversy that has ignited frustrations and confusion within its dedicated fan base. The heart of the dispute revolves around the Adeptus Custodes. We know. Earlier this year, official Warhammer channels announced the introduction of female Adeptus Custodes. We've talked about it ad nauseum. So, catching up with current day Warhammer L's, I beg your pardon. Okay, as far as had to showcase a physical copy of the guide reinforces the arguments. Yes, a Games Workshop was retracting its commitment to force diversity within the Adeptus Custodes. Oh, that's who was just sharing it out. And amidst a growing discontent, Gavin Thorpe, co-author of the Ultimate Guide to 40k, made a statement on Blue Sky. Oh, him be between the child enthusiasts and different types of threats on people's lives. I'd imagine you can find a coherent thought over there on Blue Sky. Made a statement, yes, that has only deepened the confusion and controversy. Yes, of course they are. Not every miniature is included, and I don't recall exactly, but we may have already finished that section when the series / miniatures went public. DK didn't have access to the pre-release pics. Okay. At face value, Thorpe's statement appears to affirm the inclusion of female Custodes. However, this contradicts the earlier narrative presented in his own lore guide, where the male-centric language seemingly excluded them. Yeah, this is just more confusing, really. The discrepancy raises suspicions of gaslighting, or conflicting information is provided to manipulate the community's perception, suggesting the Games Workshop might be wavering between inclusivity and traditionalism, without clear communication in what could be the effort to placate both sides of the issue. Where instead of trying to lie to your audience, wouldn't you try to double down on the stuff that has actually worked this year? Promoting what you're doing with Henry Cavill, seeing what's happening with the apolitical approach, in as much as you can have apolitical with Warhammer. I mean, in the lore, as opposed to in like the, you know what I mean. Doing the fun boomer shooter stuff that you have with Space Marine 2, where you still have people playing it. Quite a few people playing it, at least in the past 24 hours over this past weekend. You had, 18,000 people. You'd want to do that stuff instead of meandering into the far less popular stuff. So yeah, I maintain that 2024 was, generally speaking, a good year for Warhammer. It's just, we'll have to see if they can maintain a little bit of the momentum, the positive momentum from Space Marine 2 and the Cavill announcement, or if they're just going to make some more goofy decisions where they stick a chick in it and they make her lame and gay. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.